Welcome to the explainer. So, you know the exact feeling, right? You're just lying in bed, you're finally about to drift off to sleep, and out of nowhere, your brain is just like, hey, remember that incredibly awkward thing we did 5 years ago? Yeah, we've literally all been there. And today, we're unpacking a really brief, little piece of source material that captures this whole frustrating phenomenon perfectly.
Right, let's jump straight into the absolute central question our text throws at us. Why do these awkward moments stay with us? I mean, it's such a bizarre quirk of being human, isn't it? We can totally forget where we set our coffee mug down 2 minutes ago, but that one specific time you waved back at a stranger who was actually waving at the guy behind you, yeah? That memory is locked in, crystal clear for life. Our source material today zeroes right in on this exact dilemma.
Here is our super quick roadmap for today. First, the source origin. Second, the core statement. And third, the concept of forever. Let's get to it.
Starting off with part 1, the source origin.
Okay, so what's genuinely fascinating and kind of funny, honestly, is that our source today is literally identified just as a pasted text excerpt. It comes from a translated snippet simply called pasted text. So no, we aren't parsing through some massive 100-page peer-reviewed academic journal today. We're looking at a raw, completely unfiltered snippet of text. And there's actually something almost poetic about that simplicity, you know? It strips away all the academic jargon and forces us to look right at the raw human thought that someone just captured, translated, and pasted for us to figure out.
Moving right along to part 2, the core statement.
And here it is, the whole shebang. The text simply reads, why humans remember embarrassing moments forever. That's literally it. That one sentence is the entirety of the text we're breaking down today. But wow, think about the absolute weight those 7 words carry. It's not just a passing thought, it's this incredibly profound, lingering question about the human condition. And notice, it doesn't even bother asking if we remember these things. It just establishes it as a cold, hard fact that we do and asks why. Hits a little close to home, doesn't it?
So let's actually break this down. When you look closely, you can see 4 specific building blocks here that make this whole thing so recognizable to all of us. First up, humans. That's the subject. It frames this as a totally universal, species-wide glitch. It spares literally no one. Second is memory, the action. We're not talking about a physical scar here. This is purely about mental retention. Third, we have embarrassment, the condition. It doesn't say we remember joy or fear forever, but that super specific, intensely uncomfortable cringe factor. And finally, number 4, forever, the timeline. When you stack those 4 things together, you get this absolutely perfect snapshot of human vulnerability.
Which leads us straight into part 3, the concept of forever.
The text sets up this incredibly stark contrast here. On one hand, you've got the embarrassing moment itself, which is almost always this totally fleeting, temporary blip. Maybe a clumsy trip, a verbal slip-up, something that literally lasted 3 excruciating seconds. But then, on the other side of the scale, you have the absolute heavyweight concept of remembering it for an eternity. It really forces us to look at how insanely disproportionate these memories are. Like, why on earth does a 5-second social blunder get a lifetime lease in our brains? It's a massive, frankly unfair imbalance in how we process our own experiences. Which leaves us with the ultimate question. Will we ever uncover the actual reason why? Well, since our translated snippet just drops this massive why on us without actually handing over the psychological answer, it kind of leaves it up to us to just sit and ponder this wild quirk of the human brain. The text acts like a mirror, really. It doesn't offer neat, tidy closure. Instead, it just leaves us sitting with the exact same mystery that keeps us awake at 2 a.m. So I guess the next time you randomly cringe at something you said a decade ago, just remember this little pasted text and ask yourself, what purpose is this forever memory actually